Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Holly if you're new, and today we're talking about how to PR your marathon. This is a goal for so many people after they have 1 or 2 marathons under their belt, because now they've shown themselves we can finish. Now we want to kind of test our time. Can we be a little bit faster? Can one day we qualify for Boston? I also have a lot of clients right now that are working towards speed-related goals, so I figured it was the perfect time to let you guys in on the secrets, tell you exactly how we're approaching these goals and why it's going so well so far. You guys know, if you've watched my videos for even a couple of months, I am nice, slow, and steady runner. I like to kind of get my ego built off of how long I can last for out there, not necessarily how fast. But as I dive through these goals with them, I am learning a lot too. And I wanted to share with you guys what we think is working and what we think is not. So I've got 3 big tips for you. We're going to work through them together. If you are looking for a full-on marathon training plan, this is not going to be that video, but I do have training plans linked in the description for you. Let's jump in. Let's first identify the main objective. We want to be able to run faster, but we don't want it to feel like that much more work compared to what we're doing right now. Mentally and physically, a lot has to come together, especially for a marathon PR. It's a lot of time out there. So what can we sustain in the way of keeping our foot down on the pedal that we also know we can work through when it's challenging, right? So not full on transforming who we are as a runner, but adding a little bit of power behind what we're already doing so that we can actually shave that time off. So getting faster can be viewed a lot like dieting. If somebody wanted to lose 50 pounds, I really would never suggest that they just take dinner out of every single day and say, you're just going to skip dinner for the next 6 weeks. I wouldn't tell somebody that. One, it's just going to feel like shit. It's going to feel extremely different from your current state of living. And at the end of the day, I don't know that you'd be able to keep the weight off if that was the only way you first accomplished it. What I would say instead is take 200 or 300 calories off of each day, and accumulated over time, we will see that weight loss. So 200-300 calories, you can take a couple bites out of your different meals. You can just skip a snack. That can be done a lot more in a manageable way that feels like you could keep repeating it. Same thing with speed. If we take our time to achieve the goal, we give our body also time to adapt to that new sort of challenge. So it doesn't feel as bad, in the daily, but it also altogether gives you time to adjust to the new normal, making it almost a seamless transition. So the first thing I'm doing with my clients to get them faster, specifically the ones trying to PR their marathon, is every 3 or 4 weeks, we totally rearrange their training schedule. What I find to be a silent killer in speed and kind of that thing that makes you plateau where you can't get any faster is you get in the habit of limiting yourself on certain workout days. So I'm going to give you an example. I have somebody who was always doing hills on Fridays, always going to the hill workout on Friday. So she's already done several workouts during the week, including strength. Her legs are tired. She's probably mentally tired just from daily routine. And you get to Friday, and after enough weeks of knowing how you feel going into that hill workout, you kind of cap your ability. So you don't expect much more of yourself if you've already done it a certain way for several weeks. What I like about rearranging the schedule is giving your brain an opportunity to figure out a new path forward, to push anyway, despite your legs hurting or despite it being not your freshest, maybe not your best night's sleep or whatever before. You still have to face the thing head on and potentially surprise yourself. So what we ended up doing is, just playing with different orders of events, and it actually has led to her getting much faster and feeling less tired. I think because she doesn't have this kind of looming thing hanging over. I think when we get so comfortable with each day of training being the exact same, we don't really believe we can do much else. So we just need to surprise ourselves. And so that's why I recommend kind of mixing up your week. So here's some examples. One thing I like to do with people is, every 3 or 4 weeks in their long run, don't just go out and run easy. Do most of it easy. But for the last quarter mile of each mile, I recommend pushing the pace by 20 or 30 seconds. Just do it as an exercise to make it a little bit different, to push yourself. Even if it's ugly, that's fine. Just get it done. Same thing with the hill example. Say with your tempo run, you just did a heavy strength day. You did a bunch of deadlifts, back squats the day before. You're going into tempo. Go into tempo anyway the next day, even if you're not fully recovered. Just do it so that you can mentally understand what it takes. Even if the watch is not showing your fastest pace, you are working through things that really, really help lay the groundwork for that PR on race day. We're going to get into this, but the real nature of the PR comes through what you can do about the ups and downs of your race. Can you handle getting out of the hole? Do you have an approach to different gears you can go to? That really teaches you that when you mix up your week. And again, you can go back to your schedule after that because we want to go into each workout with intention, but you also want to give yourself room to surprise yourself. Second thing I'm doing with my clients is we're being very intentional about how we introduce race pace to our training. It is tempting, especially again, if you've been running for a long time, to believe that if you run the same route enough days or enough weeks in a row, eventually you're just going to start to run it faster. But we know you have to run faster in order to run faster. So I'm going to give you guys a few tangible ways to incorporate race pace into your training and also how to use perceived effort to again give yourself windows of opportunity to surprise yourself. So the first style of workout that I recommend starting to incorporate on speed days or even like a mid-distance run day would be 2-mile repeats. This is a really nice way to start to introduce a little bit of a faster long run pace in a way that doesn't feel, again, too crazy at first. So I like to think when I'm out there in the marathon that my pace for a marathon is 6 to 7 out of 10 perceived effort. Some places we're edging on 7, but mostly your base is 6, something you can sustain obviously for 26.2. When we do these 2-mile repeats, what we want to do is start to introduce what is a faster version of what I'm already doing at a comfortable, long run pace. So like I said, maybe shave 20 or 30 seconds off that pace. If you're normally at a 10-minute mile, can we do something in the 9:40s, maybe 9:30s in 2 miles? Then you're going to take a 3 to 5 minute walk break and you're going to do that 4 times. So it'll be a longer run, but you've got it kind of spaced out. Then after 3 or 4 weeks of doing that, and you can just do that style workout just once a week. After 3 or 4 weeks of that, I recommend cutting that rest period between down to 2 to 3 minutes. A couple weeks of that, we cut it down to 1 minute, and then eventually you delete that rest altogether and you've got your 8 miles at that new race pace. Then we can start to really confidently build mileage on that pace. This is a really nice one to, once again, just get familiar with a new kind of mode of long distance running in a controlled environment, make tweaks, make changes. If the breathing's hard on that first set of 2 miles, during that recovery, start to take those big inhales, try to really get things going nice and loose through the stomach so you have that opportunity to set yourself up better for the next one. That's why I like rests too. It can really make the quality of each section really good. The second style of speed workout I find to be really effective is use that perceived effort as your guide and do more of a pyramid or ladder style workout. These are really good for track, but if you don't have a track, just something that's more of a loop system that you can stay really consistent on the same exact terrain as you go. So a good example of this would be maybe 5 rounds of the following: 3 minutes at 6 out of 10 effort, 2 minutes at 8 out of 10 effort, and 1 minute push, whatever you got left, 10 out of 10. 3-2-1 style. Take your breaks. I would say maybe like a 2-3 minute walk break in between or full recovery and repeat maybe 5 times. Another type of speed workout we are loving right now is entirely based off of perceived effort. And I find this can be a really good way to continue to match your progress as you train. You can kind of ignore the watch on these days and just go off of how you feel. And it gives you an opportunity to sometimes run faster than you thought you could. Again, we create these boundaries when we're constantly on autopilot. So this gives us an opportunity to push it harder without really knowing how hard we're pushing. We don't get as scared and we don't really get as conservative with it. So what I like to do in this style of workout is a half-mile push in the middle of a mile repeat. So this is what it would look like. First quarter mile, I would say a 7 out of 10 perceived effort. Strong run, you're not jogging, but nice strong run. Going into your half mile, 8 or 9 out of 10 effort. This is a big push. You're not sprinting for the half mile, but you are pushing, you're huffing. That last quarter mile, bring it all the way down to that easy jog, and that would be your recovery. So we wouldn't even put a walk break in there. You're going kind of medium, push, slow it way down as your recovery for the quarter mile, go back into it. 4 to 5 rounds to start, see how that feels if you can string together those 5 miles and feel good about it. And again, with perceived effort, you're not looking for exact mirror copies on every round. You're actually looking to just continue to push the edges. And what I really find valuable about this style of a workout is that you learn your gears. You really become comfortable in your slow, in your fast, what it feels like to really push and really back off. And again, that is so key when it comes to PRing the marathon because it's a bunch of problem solving, lows and highs along the way. This could be the difference between you taking a full stop or walk break in the marathon and just slowing down to a jog, but you're still taking 1 step at a time forward. After you're finished with those perceived effort style workouts, you can definitely look at your splits, see what you did in terms of pace, and just again, get more familiar with how you felt that day versus what it looked like on the watch. It's good to know your paces, but it's also good to run it without looking specifically at that. Of course, conditions during the day can make a big difference too. Obviously, heat, like I said, if you have a heavy day before and you're going into it, that all comes into play. But again, new day is a new day. Let's give it our all and just see what we can do. The final piece of this puzzle is by far the most challenging, and I'm always at odds with my clients over it. Can we keep your easy runs actually easy? It is so important to remember the benefits of the easy run and how much those easy runs affect you physiologically in a positive way so that you can hammer it down on race day. I'm going to go through those benefits, but I first want to remind you, yes, it feels like we should do most of our training close to that race pace because we have to practice, and the longer we can do it for, we know we'll be able to repeat that on race day. But what you're missing when you don't get those easy runs in is all that space to actually keep adapting to your new challenges so that you are stronger and faster and more capable. We don't get those benefits when we're hammering it home every single workout. We have to back off. So those easy runs are where we build all those tiny little blood vessels that bring that oxygen into your muscles so that you can last longer at that push. So that's number one. The easy runs also promote the production of mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. I like to view this as increasing your running economy, how efficiently you can produce that output. Your body gets more and more efficient at putting one foot in front of the other. Again, a really nice, strong base layer for race day. In other words, your base runs get your body really good at handling stress. And that is really good for race day when you're wanting to push it and survive the whole way through. Your body knows what to do. It can physiologically handle that. I didn't even mention this, but your body also gets good at using fat stores as energy before going to carbohydrate sources when you're taking those goos and gels, which gives you more of a window, more room for error on race day if you don't perfectly hit your eating each time. Your body knows what to do with what it already has, which is great. Last thing, if I haven't already sold you on the easy runs, is these runs also really help you in your recovery. So they really help bridge the gap between your hard workouts and then taking the day fully off. Some blood flow really helps. These easy runs I meant to mention do not all need to be long or specifically short. They can be all range of distance, but they need to be included in your routine at least once a week. But it helps, again, keep you feeling decent between workouts. So you're not just dead stopped, blood pools everywhere, and you just feel really swollen after a hard workout. This helps kind of promote that movement. You're also building that aerobic base, but not in a way that feels so super hard. As someone who's run many marathons and has PR'd some of those marathons, I really believe it comes down to how well you know yourself. And the better you know yourself, the better you can problem solve. If we do not challenge ourselves in the ways we discussed in this video, mixing up your training, doing things we don't want to, finding ways to approach different workouts different ways, that is where the real info comes in. So when you are in the depths of it on race day, you know that you can come out of it. You have a range of gears to go to. You know that you've been in hot conditions, cold conditions, sleep deprived, tons of sleep, heavy strength workout before, not that before. You want to go into race day having experienced every kind of scenario. That is the way to get that PR. It's very unlikely that you're just going to have a day where you decide this is the pace that you need to keep on and you hammer it down and you just hold that pace through the whole 26 miles. Very unlikely for us normal people. I'm not talking about professional athletes, normal people with day jobs. That is not going to happen most likely. What's going to happen is you hopefully average out at your goal pace, but the splits tell an entirely different story, and that's okay. I'm going to leave you guys with one little story, just personal. I've run the Big Sur Marathon 4 times at this point. I just want to tell you kind of how it evolved. The first time I did it was my first marathon ever. If you're familiar with the race, there's a 2-mile climb. I believe it's miles 10 to 12 or 11 to 13, and you are going up a hill the entire time. So my goal of the first marathon I ever did was I wanted to run every step. I didn't care how slow I went. I just wanted to finish, but I did want to technically say I ran the whole thing. Then for years 2 and 3, my main focus was on the second half. I remembered how tired I was in that second half, just trying to drag along to finish it on year 1, that I really wanted to see what I could pull out of myself in the second half when it was the worst. You guys know I like that mental struggle, so that was kind of my fixation those years. Can I run a really strong second half? Maybe even negative split, post-hill, whenever it fell. By that final year 4, guys, I realized there are 500 ways to skin a cat. So many ways to approach the course, any course really. But what I think makes PRs so special to people is it means you did what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to shave your time off and you did it. You did whatever it took throughout the race. You handled each problem as it came up. You stayed flexible and you stayed positive, even when it got really dark. We know this about marathons, especially if you've run a few now. The weather changes. Obviously, it's getting warmer as the day goes on. Little aches and pains can creep up. You can hit little mental lows. Maybe you didn't handle the nutrition perfectly and you're having a little bit of stomach issue. Those things can really come up. But like I said, having gone through so many scenarios during your training really sets you up to know no one moment defines how you did that race day or not. Your PR does not come down to one screw up. It really comes down to your mental state of knowing you are going to keep pushing, keep figuring out how to keep going. I hope this video helped you guys. I wish you all the PRs. I hope you're so fast this fall and beyond. And please let me know what else you guys want to see. Thanks for watching. Bye.